You say and spell your name, please.
It's Jim Kane, Koehn.
All right, Mr. Kane. Will you kind of give us a walkthrough of what you've been through the last few days?
Okay, the last few days, other than a lot of smoke. It's so thick in here at times that you go to wipe your nose, soot in your nose, and everything is like really smoky, scratchy throat, burning eyes. I seen the column of some flames that were up in the trees, and I went in there and walked out onto the road. And the Forest Service had come up to me and said, "Hey, so you need to get out of here." He said the fire's coming down the mountain, and we was going to go back around to come back the way that we went. And he said, "No, you need to go the other way. It's coming down that mountain. It's coming down fast." And by I'd say about 6:30, right around dark, so it's still daylight. And then you could see the smoke coming across the field. You seen the embers coming across the road and all that stuff. And then once it hit this neighborhood, it was like a cyclone just had gone through here. And the sky was like all lit up orange, and you could hear everything popping and cracking. You could hear propane tanks exploding. You could hear the transformers going off. They were exploding. Let's see, then and then the sky, like I said, everything was all orange here. I was standing out here on the porch. You can see all the trees over here behind us right here. All the trees back over here was all on fire. You can see them burning. You can see all the black smoke, and all right back over here. You can see all the flames back over there, and along those trees right there. And then like come dark, this whole place was like orange. This whole sky right here in the back of you there. Everything was like lit up orange, and then it was like somebody just hit a light switch, or like the skylight got like really bright, and like dark, or like dark went to light, and it's like somebody hit a dimmer switch, and then the light just gradually came down, like somebody just did dimming the lights, and then it flared back up again, stuff like that. That was doing all this back over here. This was all orange, and when it swept through here. It went from here and then went all through the neighborhood, 1 block over, and it swept all the way over to the highway, and which is about a half a mile or so from here. People ask like what's it feel like standing here? Kind of basically the way that I kind of describe it's like we're standing here right now. If I take like one step over, it's like you're stepping into hell. It's kind of the best way I kind of could describe that.
Yeah, so your house has made it just fine, but what is everything else
Everything
around it?
from a block over, you go 1 block over. I mean, like I said, this is only 1 block over here. So we're only talking like maybe 200 feet or so, and everything that way. Everything else over there, I mean, it's gone. There's nothing over there at all. It's like somebody just flew over here and dropped a bomb, and it just, gone, man. Everything's disintegrated. And it's just a big, giant inferno over there.
So what made you want to stay for evacuations?
Well, number one is really nowhere to go, per se. Really, my main reason really for not leaving here is just, it's just, there's a lot to lose here. I mean, this is our home, so I really didn't want to lose it. I've got granted it's materialistic stuff, but when you don't have the insurance to cover what you need or to be able to replace it, then it's really hard to lose. I mean, this is our home, type of thing, so it's kind of a hard thing to lose. So I was trying to do my best. I was going to do everything within my power, to save it. We had water at the time, so I was keeping everything watered down. I was keeping my neighbors over here watered down, and right back over here, keeping them watered down. Because a lot of this place is like really, really dry. It's really dry. And we've been under a drought here for, I don't know, probably for about the last 15 years or so. And anybody that watches the news or anything like that, if you heard anything about Lake Oroville, it's down like 200 and some odd feet below stage. They actually had to shut the power plants down the water that comes out of Lake Oroville is what feeds the power supply, or that feeds the what do you call it, the turbines and stuff like that creates our electricity in some of the areas down there. They had to shut them down, so there's a lot of those areas around there that don't even have power. They've had to go to generators and stuff like that because it's just so dry. And even right, like I said, right here, we haven't had any snow here. We haven't had any rain here in a long time. We get like these little showers, and stuff like that, but the ground just sucks that water man right up. And we actually haven't had any real rain here, and probably in about 8 years, roughly. And our snow, our snow level here is normally anywhere from 2 to 3 to 4 feet. Stuff like that. I have seen it, say 5 feet here. Way back when they used to get snow here that was 10, 12, 13 feet. And over the course of the whole winter, of course, that would melt down, that builds back up, and stuff like that. But our winters nowadays, you're lucky to see a foot here, and it's really bad as far as as far as our drought goes, stuff like that, as far as the community around here, the community around here, it's a very strong, a very tight community. You take a lot of your old buildings that's downtown, like I was talking with you earlier, yesterday evening. A lot of the foundations around here, a lot of those buildings have been around since the 1800s. And they've got a very strong foundation. So to me, the town itself has had very strong roots. Hopefully it regrows, and hopefully it'll be able to come back. Because like I said, this is a very strong community. There's a lot of people here. There's a lot of history here.
So what's going through your mind when you're seeing a community group you lived in the last 25 years just go?
Like over here behind us, right here, this friends of mine that live right here on this block. Actually, I know quite a few people around in here. You got Butch Shaw that lives right over here in the back of us here, or did live here. There's Butch Shaw, and there's Karen, or Susan and Chuck, her son, Higney, that lives right over here to the left of them. I know some friends that lived right here on the corner. And then further on down, there's some other people down here that I know. There's a buddy of mine, Rick, he's one of the town electricians here. He had a house right down the road here, and that was being built. He was in the process of finishing that up. And, that house looks just what it looks like here back of us. And this is like what this whole neighborhood right here looks like, everything that you see right here. But like I always say, you're getting like little snippets here. But until somebody actually comes here and actually sees this with their own two eyes, you ain't got no clue, man, what this damn thing looks like. It really doesn't. It doesn't really do it like any justice until you actually really come in here and see this with your own two eyes. And when you lived in a community, this long, and a lot of the people around here, there's such a small, tight-knit family here, so it's painful, man. It's painful because you think of all the people that live here, and that a lot of these people aren't going to have any homes when they to come back to.
Do they even come back?
No, I don't know. I really don't think so. I'm being kind of a little bit of a pessimist about that. I don't see how they can, because a lot of these people in here didn't have insurance. And so I don't really see how they could come back. A lot of these people are retired, they're on fixed incomes. A lot of people are just, they're disabled. I get that scratchiness in my throat. You get, there's just a lot, it's a lot of low income, families in here. A lot of these people, they don't have money. They live day to day or month to month. And so for them to come in here and to try to rebuild a home, I don't see it happening. I don't believe. I think once they get all this cleaned out of here and they clean this place up, I think it's going to basically kind of just look like a big giant pasture. There'll be a few houses that'll probably be rebuilt, but it'll never be what it was. I really don't think it will be. Even over here behind you. There's a buddy of mine that lived over there, Dan Litchfield. That house over there, it's gone. and it's him and his wife, and he's got a couple of kids, you know, and stuff like that. I mean, I look around here and I think of all the people, you know, that I know, and I'll probably never see them again, you know. A lot of them, they'll probably end up just moving away and, you know, doing whatever. Even us, I don't even know exactly what we're going to do yet, even, you know, concerning myself and my wife, you know, stuff like that. Just, I don't know. I do know that the property value here just took a big drop. I mean, big drop. I mean, our home's worth, you know, I guess like I said, our home's like worth like $175,000, you know, but the loss on that, you'll never recoup that. That $175,000 home, I bet you probably couldn't sell that thing probably for any more than $40,000-$50,000 right now, if that. There's too much destruction here.
Well, speaking of never seeing some of these people again, a lot of people thought they'd never see you and your wife again. What was it like seeing y'all's names on the missing people's report?
Oh yeah, see, that was something else too. We did see our name. I see my name come up there one time, but mainly it was my wife's name that came up, and I had calls coming in from all over, you know, and that were checking in on her. I've been in constant contact with a lot of the sheriff's departments around here. They've come around. They've actually been a great help to us. They were constantly coming around here checking on us, the Forest Service, like all the different agencies. They were constantly coming around checking on me. I talked to them more than my wife did, so they always seen more of me than they did her. So I really could understand why her name would have came up, and not so much mine. You know, so they came around, the sheriff's department did, and they came around. They asked for her. They wanted to know where she was at. They didn't know if I freaking, I mean, put her out in the daggum, what do you call it, out here in one of these buildings or what, you know, to be honest with you, I don't know. But they needed to literally see her physically to know that she was still around, she was still alive. And, you know, so they actually had to talk to her physically. They actually had to see her in person, and in order to remove her off of the missing persons report. And it actually kind of freaked her out, really. Whenever she seen her name come up on the TV, there was like 8 of us that came up on there. Well, there was 8 names, I should say, and her being one of them. And then I seen people on there. There was 2 people on there even that I knew that was on there, which were located. And as far as I know, I don't believe there's been any deaths here at all. Thank God.
This is your in-laws' place?
Yes. Steve Quimby Steve Quimby's the one that lived here.
Where are they now?
Yeah, he's down there at his son's house down there in I think it's in Modesto, I think, San Jose, somewhere down there at his son's house.
So you took your wife down here when it was still smoldering?
Yeah, when it was still smoldering, and I had brought her over here to her dad's house to show her, you know, what had happened. And she seen it, and I pulled down into the driveway. She didn't even want to go down there, and she just started freaking out and, you know, started crying. You know, it's just there's some memories here, and you know, we had the barbecues there. She just lost her mother here here a few years ago, and so it kind of it's kind of like adding to the heartache, and you're thinking back of the times that you had here with your mother. And then to have all this happen is kind of like a slap in the face, I guess you could say. And she just started freaking out. I had to get her out of here, and it's a bad situation. And I'm sure there's a lot of people. I'm sure this isn't the only, what my wife and I are going through. I'm sure we're not the only ones. I'm sure that there's other people, once they come back in here, they allow people back in here, they're going to be going through the same thing. You know, they're going to be going through the same situation, the same heartache, you know, the same thoughts. They're going to see like what's going on whenever they look at all this, and they start thinking back into their memories and the times that they had. You know, there's a lot of people they were born and raised here.
All right, tell us about the history of this town.
All right, as far as the history of the town, you know, we've been here 25 years, so I can tell you a little bit about what I know. Right here across the street, there was a restaurant that was right here, which was the Coach House. You had an antique store that was right here. You had the medical the Rancheria Medical Clinic was right here in back of you. You had the dental office that was back over there. You had the.
Tell us about the historical aspect of the town.
As far as the historical aspects of the building, this right here was the Pioneer Building, or the Pioneer Club, which you can see that sign right there. And this place right here goes back a lot of years. This probably goes all the way back into the. I don't know the exact age of it, but I would say it was probably like back in the 40s, 50s. This hotel, there was a hotel that was right here that was part of it, which is where a lot of the guests and stuff like that had stayed. And this building right here had been here for many, many years. They used to have a pawn shop down here, and then you come like over here across the street. That's where the drugstore was at. That was the Village Drugs, and Kevin Goss owned that. We had the bar that was right. The bar right here, that mural. There used to be a mural that was right on that, and that used to be the old bank at one time, way back in the day. And it was the bank, and there was a couple other things, and then Gould had bought it, and then they had the bar. Well, the original vault and everything is still there. As a matter of fact, somewhere over there, somebody had pointed out that you still can see the safe, with the wheel on it and stuff like that. Let's see here. Of course, you got the library over there. Basically everything down that way, on this side of the road. Some of the oldest buildings around here date back to the 1850s is the oldest building. Right now, we're in the back of the football field here, and there's people all up and down this road right here that I've known or knew that have lost everything in here, and this is everything that goes all the way down through there. A buddy of mine, David Hodges, back here, he lost his house. Bob Hurd's son, Adam, he lost his house.
People that never saw this area before, tell them what it's like now, the difference.
If you've never seen this before, it breaks your heart. That's kind of, I don't know, it's the only way I kind of describe that. It's heartbreaking to see it. There's